What was some of your hustles as a younger guy in high school or middle school?
Yeah. So my dad let me know that a paper route became available in our neighborhood. And then when I was 12, I picked that up. And I remember I went from picking up sticks for 50 cents to delivering papers for an entire month. It was a weekly paper for $60. So that was a huge upgrade. Now I look back and I'm like, how is this legal that they're paying kids
Right.
$60 to do this? But it was great. To me, that was a new video game every month, and I was stoked, and I could earn it. And after that, I got a job as soon as I could at Big Bear. I was bagging groceries, grabbing the carts, all that. Upgraded to pet people. I was selling dog food. That's where I think I learned sales. I read a book called The 4-Hour Workweek, and they talked about that. And I had to get over my fears of taking risk and leaving that corporate job to go do something on my own. And I had to literally write out the worst case scenario. And like, once you write it out, like, it's probably going to be, it could be worse. So like, make it worse, make it worse, make it worse. And unless you're going to jail or unless somebody's going to get hurt, it'll be okay.
Your strategy is a buy and hold strategy.
Correct.
And why did you find that to be more aligned with your goals than a buy and flip?
Yeah, it was probably just the mentors I followed in real estate. So to me, when you flip, you cash in one time on all that hard work, and between the tax man and all the fees, you miss out on a good portion of it. When you burr and you buy and hold a property, you win 5 different ways. You have the forced appreciation for what you do to the property. You have natural appreciation, which in Columbus is the king.
Yeah.
So for all the realtors out there, anyone looking to buy, like, that's your number one, benefit right there. And you have the cash flow, which isn't a lot for what we're doing. You have the loan pay down, and then for me, the tax benefits. I've seen a lot of success where my peers are going through wholesalers. I actually love finding properties on the MLS. I love finding a stagnant property, which is a little bit harder to find in this market, and then just making low offers. And to agents watching this, some agents get really uncomfortable with that. I think the best agents understand how to deliver that as still adding value. And we've bought almost 80% of our properties that way. And when you realize that the other person you're negotiating with, price isn't always the number one thing. Sometimes it's not even in the top 3.
Yeah.
If you can figure out their timeline, their needs, what situation they're in. Sometimes people are like, I want to move to California, tired of this house, I'm tired of taking care of it. I just need enough money to cover the truck and a year's rent.
Yeah. That's what motivation is. And then on the real estate agent side, understanding people's motivation is what drives them to take action. We resist on logic and buy on emotion.
Yeah.
And so really understanding what people's motivation is and constantly going back to that helps to get deals done and ensure it's a win-win. I'm 100% on board with you on that.
You broke that down so nicely about how logic and emotion can be 2 very different things in a negotiation.
Yeah.
And how if you can separate those, you can still find a win-win no matter who you're working with.
You have someone going out to the property to scope what your costs are. Is that a contractor?
It's still me doing that. And at first when I was doing it, I wasn't doing it very well. I was always dependent on what a contractor would tell me. But most people, once you get a few reps at that, you can kind of understand, every window for most contractors is this, every door, hardwood floors are $1.50 a square foot, et cetera. But yeah, you get good at ballparking that. But there's a lot of great, investors around here like Tommy Haar, Nick Eiffel, folks who will they have programs to help teach you all that stuff.
You have Concierge, which is a very unique approach to property management.
So kind of like what you're talking about, you say the Ritz-Carlton, I call it the Four Seasons, but they're cousins, right? We want it to be that kind of experience where we want the guest who says, I don't really care about the price. I want to find the level of service I can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
And we've always operated our short-term rentals that way, because if we're competing on price, we're competing with everybody. And we're competing for a client who is not the target we're looking for, right? That's the person who says, I paid $5 more a night for your room, but your towels aren't very comfortable, so I don't want a refund. We're paying for somebody who says, I want the location, I want the higher end furniture, I want all these extra experiences, and I want to come back, and I'm willing to pay for it.
What do you think is a big pitfall of real estate agents?
There's a lot of lazy agents. there's a lot of transactional agents. So I think most of the time your clients won't see if you're not putting in the work, so you can get by with that. I think what also happens is if you have a great property and you get 30 offers, taking the time to respond to the other 29 matters, because you will interact with a lot of these agents again, and people remember that. And I've constantly come into scenarios where even I, as the buyer, have come across the same seller's agent. And there's been times where now I've avoided properties because of a bad seller's agent. And there's others where I actually know I can get the price cheaper because of how emotional the seller's agent has been in the past. So, and those are just things I picked up negotiating, but like taking that time to like really value the person on the other end is huge, because it's not really this battle. It's not this gridlock of like, hey, if there's $1 here, we got to fight over it. It's creating those win-win opportunities, and making the process easy is good. And a good agent for me sometimes is somebody who takes me out of the equation. I've had agents in the past where if I want to negotiate every little thing, could help manage their client. And so being able to manage your client, working well with others, and just really seeing the bigger picture, I think goes a long way.
What are some coaches or like go-to guys that you look to as like, okay, I know I'm going to get a nugget from that guy?
Yeah. So getting started into that scene, Tony Robbins is an easy one. He is very generalized information. He delivers it in a way that's very motivating and full of energy. As I've gotten deeper, Brandon Turner's really good in real estate. He's left bigger pockets and gone off on his own. But he'll take real estate and really dissect it down to easy to digest information. Dan Buchanan, I think I just finished a book of his. Jim Collins has great stuff. Well, not real estate based, just very good for business acumen.
Yeah.
But there's so many just classic books out there, you know, Good to Great, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
You heard it from Kyle Barger. Check out Oasis at Hocking Hills.
Yep.
I have been there. The A-frame is awesome. I haven't been to the lodge, but 25 people means that place is a compound.
It's big, yeah. Awesome. We finished here in about 2 weeks.
Sweet. And they can go and see rental prices and descriptions on where.
So oasishh.com, our concierge, Jenny, 24/7. She'll get you a quote. If you mention Red One, we'll get you a discount and take care of you. And all we ask is just throw out your social media for us.